Welcome back to another stream, another artwork showdown. There's no showdown, but another stream here where I'm going to create an artwork right before your eyes, like magic, but not really. It's mostly math and science that I'm using to my will. Thank you guys for joining me here today. Today we're going to be making a sci-fi sort of artwork. I actually kind of prepared for this one. By prepared, I just mean figured out some potential issues I'm going to have in this particular run. But we should be going pretty well. So, Mo, thank you for joining. It's good to see you, Mo. Hope you're doing well. Hope your studies or your class went well. I don't know if you're watching this before, during, after class, but I hope that's going well. Yeah, so hopefully all that's going good. We're going to be using I have some kit bash elements I have collected throughout the years. I have some material elements that I have bought from Unity, the Unity store. So we're going to see if we can make something look cool, look hip, etc, etc. So we're gonna do a couple things here. Let's just set up our scene. First, I'm gonna do a vertical sheen. So let's change our print value here. Print value. I say print because this looks like a printer, but it's just the output settings. Output settings 1350. Nope. Sorry. 1350 by 1080. There we go. That's like I have vacation now. I refuse to think about studies for now. Ooh, didn't mean to bring it up, though. I hope your vacation's going well. So yeah, we're gonna make a scene. It's gonna be a sci-fi scene. We got some stuff. So these are some materials that I've gotten that I've been itching to use. Have not used them in ever. Honestly, any project I haven't really used them. And then I have a kit bash where I have a bunch of kit bash elements that we can just shove in here and make look cool and hip. And of course I have my materials and etc, etc, etc. So for right now, what we're gonna do is we are going to we're gonna block this out, right? I don't really know. I have a general idea what I want to do. Something kind of vertical, something kind of tall, something kind of blah blah blah, right? So we're gonna block things out, but I'm gonna use a matte cap for this. I'm gonna use a matte cap. I'm gonna put random, so each element in my scene is gonna be a different color, and I'm actually gonna put solid view here, and also put the matte cap on here. It's interesting that you can have different matte caps here. Matte cap, random. Okay, there we go. So let's start setting up our scene. I think it's gonna be a big scene, but we don't need this camera to be pushed in so far. We're gonna do 80, and I'm just gonna set up some basic stuff. I'm gonna bring this guy up 1. I'm gonna make a plane. I'm also gonna bring this into its own collection. So let's do we're just gonna call it rough, right? Because this, or block out, because that's what this is. Block out. I just got a new keyboard, so I'm getting used to how it feels. Crap. Block out. There we go. We're gonna call this ground, and then we'll go from there. We'll keep on pushing, right? And this is just for me to set up the scene here. Let me take off this header. We'll put in home. We'll zoom out a little bit there. Actually, we'll make this bigger so you can see what's happening here. I'm gonna make this big. You obviously can't see, so we're gonna bring the camera up. All right, and there's a couple things I want to turn on here. I want to turn on cavity. Can I turn on shadows? I'm gonna turn on shadows, which is really great. It's really good to see these shadows. You can change that in these viewport shading. You can see you can turn off or on shadows. We'll put it at 0.5. What options do we have for shadows? Ooh, we could pick the light direction. That's pretty cool. So let's pick the light direction. I'm gonna hold control, and I think that controls the exact direction. Let's do it from like, for right now, let's do above left, right? Like if the sun's hitting it. So we got some shadows going on there. Pretty cool. So shadow and cavity is what I have on. That's how you get that the edges to look kind of, so I can really see the edges and stuff. So I can really start blocking this out. So yeah, camera's cool, but I want to maybe be looking up at it or maybe down at it. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to size this up so it's you know, like in place of a person, right? So this is the person. Uh, what is the average height of somebody? Like 1.7 meters or whatever. So we'll do the 1.7 meters, right? So there we go. We will apply all transformations. This is the size of our little person, but we want this to be monumental, right? This is gonna be, I want this to be a huge sci-fi scene. And of course, like we did in the last scene, there's a lot I didn't like about that scene that I'm going to be improving here. So it's gonna be looking good. Ferd, good day. Glad to see you here again. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so we want this guy to be tiny, right? So let's actually do a couple things here. This is the size of a human. We're using him or them or her, it doesn't matter. We're gonna use them as kind of like a reference point here. We're gonna move this all the way back. There we go. So the camera's like way back here now, which is pretty cool. And we're also gonna make this much bigger here. This is just for me to see what the heck is happening here. Also, let me put shadows on here. I forgot that these don't line up. Shadows and cavity. There we go. I can even put depth of field in there. I mean, these report settings are great. I love the previous scene. Mo, I like the previous scene too. But you know, as a picky artist, I looked at it for a long time. I scrolled through it. I looked at every inch of it, and there's things that I would improve for my particular quote-unquote style. I wouldn't say style, but just what I like to see in a scene. And it was missing a couple of those elements that I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna forget to do here. So I'm not saying it's a bad scene. I'm saying that I can see room for my own improvement. It sounds so nitpicky, but yes. All right, so we got our camera. We're pushed back. I think I like the size of that human. Maybe we'll be a little further up. Maybe even further. Let's do a couple things here. Let's add in my compositing guides. We'll do thirds and center. And I'm gonna actually turn a lot of this stuff off except for the guides here, so I can see the guides. There you go. Everything's off except my compositing guides. There we go. Gotcha. Yeah. You know. You always want to improve. So I got my lines here. You can see them pretty clear. And like pretty clear, I mean not really. They're like these dark dotted lines. I want to see real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I want to see real quick if I can change the color of it. So under viewport, no, themes, and it'll be under, I would assume, 3D viewport. So this camera is black. What if it's not black? Okay, so it's not that. Camera, lights, vertex, select, edge select, mark, edge, faces, blah blah blah, NURBS, handles, yada 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 yada, bundle, solid path, camera path, dark, view overlay. Maybe that's what it is. Yes, it is. So you can see the lines a lot better now. So you see that view overlay. You can see that it's dark and it's white. And I'm just gonna have that on, or just white, just so I could see my lower thirds, my center, and all that stuff. Right now I want my horizon at that third just to start out. We got our little person there, and then I want to see what my range is here. Also for the camera, I'm just gonna pick a random setting for the camera lens. I'm gonna do full frame, and I think that makes it even look kind of cooler. So let's bring this guy further up the camera. There we go. We're at the line. We got our guy in the center there. Looking neat and stuff. Okay, so now let's figure out where our walls are going to be. This is going to be kind of like an interior, maybe like an open roof concept. Let's see what we can do, right? So let's do a let's do another plane. Let's bring that out into block out. And we're gonna bring this out. And I'm gonna extrude it upwards. I could have just made a cube, right? I overcomplicated this. We'll take off the face there, and we'll take off the front face there, and we'll take off the bottom face. So we basically have this wall that we are sizing up here. And I like it. It's good. And also the origin's at the right place. So let's see. Our wall, we can get it up to like to the edge here. Then we can go to edit mode, press 2 so we can select line mode. And then we can select these top lines here, and then we can bring it up. Alright. But maybe I want this top half so you can kind of see like the top here. There we go. You can see that our light you can see our shadow kind of cutting in between there. That's just for show. But can I change it so it doesn't show? Is that a possible thing? Oh, not doesn't show, but doesn't, like, can I make this particular object not cast a shadow? That's what I'm saying. Let's see if we can. That's usually, it'll be like something in invisibility, right? There it is. So I can actually make this plane not show a shadow by going to the viewport display. So I'm going to take off that, but our little character still has a shadow, which is what I like. Good stuff. And then we can also do ambient occlusion. Is ambient occlusion in here? Depth. Is that something that we can just add in the viewport? No. Backface culling, shadows. Maybe not. It may be in the render only. Okay, cool. So we're mapping out what our scene is, and I think this room is a little too small. So we're gonna push it back. So let's push this guy back. And maybe we'll push it back to where the bottom line is. So there we go. We got the line, and then we're also gonna push this plane a little forward. Goes into here. That's good. And I know it doesn't matter, but I'm just gonna bring these lines here. Just a little up here. Sometimes I get really particular. Sometimes I shouldn't. I should let it go. I should really let it go. But you know, we're not. So there we go. We have it completely flat against the ground there. All right, cool. So let's take off snap, and let's just bring these guys up here. Attack on Titan type of art. Yeah, like something big, right? Like a monumental thing. It doesn't have to be, you know, necessarily like Attack on Titan or anything like that, but it's good. And right now you can see that we're filling up this little cube here, but maybe I don't want that. Actually, let's see if we can widen it out a bit. Maybe the room's a little big. Maybe it gets a little bit like half here and stuff. So yeah, all I'm doing here. You watch anime? I do, but I haven't been watching as much anime in the recent days. I have a lot of how do you say, basic anime taste. I'm a casual. I'm a filthy casual when it comes to anime nowadays. And it's not because I don't want to. It's just like the timing. All right. So we have our thing here. Let's go to shadows. Let's see if we can move the shadow around. And actually, let's give this back. Go to viewport ability. Where was I doing? View. There it is. Shadows. All right. Let's see if I can make the shadows more interesting, just to make sure that I can. So let's see if we can move this around. You know what? No. Let's bring the shadow back to where it was. I'm being silly. Oh, see, I ruined it now. There it is. We'll just do a shadow like that. But we'll take it off of the main thing there. There we go. You watch anime, same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I probably would be easiest if I just watch like anime movies, like good anime movies. That'd be the caveat. Nowadays, it's like committing to a show. I'm like, should I commit to the show or should I commit to the giant 1,000 level list of movies, games, books, manga, like everything? There's so much content nowadays. It's hard to pick. I think sometimes like when you search for something or you shop for something on Amazon and then you look at every review and then you look at other ones and you look at how other people are selling it, or not even Amazon, anywhere you look at the reviews, you look here, you compare, you contrast, you check out the specs, you see if you're getting the most bang for your buck, and you're doing all this and you're just doing this for like a pair of socks. You know what I mean? Like I think sometimes that sort of like analytical like consumerism, it's very consuming, so it makes decision fatigue happen a lot faster. Anyway, went a little tangent there. So we're making the room, uh, and we got the walls, we got the thing. All right, so we want our centerpiece, right? So we got our little person there. What's interesting about the random mat cap stuff on random is that it's like name dependent. So I guess it gets like the random seed value from the name. Because if I change this cube to, let's say, person dot 000, you'll see that it'll change color. It barely changed colors, but it did, I swear. Like, let me change it to persons. There, see? It's so I guess the name it has is the seed that it gives the random color, and it changes the color. And I don't like that. I wish I can change the seed myself, because sometimes I want it to be called something, but sometimes the color is too similar to another object and stuff. The homie Kelly says the homie Grease Monkey be riding like Tupac. Oh, Kelly, good to see ya. Glad you're here. All right, so let's make a centerpiece over here. Let's do a cylinder. We'll do one. We'll set the origin to 3D cursor. So, and then we're gonna do a normal. We'll do an auto smooth on this, and then we'll also do smooth. There we go. So let's do like an altar type piece, and then we'll start building out what the shapes. So all I'm thinking about when I'm doing this right now are like shapes. And if I like the shapes, the shapes have to make sense. There's obviously some, Mo says, see ya, Grease Monkey, I have to go to my job. We'll have fun at work. Thanks for stopping by, man. Alright, so let's go down here. Let's go to active element. Alright, and let's size this up. Is this messing up here? It is. Oh, I see, because the active element is... Okay, I see what's happening. Shouldn't be active element. I want it to be individual origin. Okay, I guess I have to do it in object mode for this to work correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do S to scale, and that scales it up. But I don't want it to scale up right now on the Z axis, which is up and down. So I'm going to do S, but shift Z it. And that'll kind of give me a plane like this. And maybe we can make some sort of altar here. And so what all I'm thinking about is shapes and how shapes are if they're aesthetically pleasing. They're going up. Obviously, we'll do some cylinder stuff. Maybe we'll break it. Maybe it'll go above these walls here. So we're going to just keep building out this view to see if we can find some shapes here. So I like somewhat the centerpiece that it's going to be there. It's not going to be a cylinder. It's not going to be a tube. But I just want to get these shapes out. And then I want something more in the foreground. So let me just throw in some cubes. And then we can start really building out what this might be. So Z1, set origins to 3D cursor. All right, so we're gonna get this, and we're gonna build. We're gonna put things in the foreground here. We'll rotate this around. All right, so we'll do that. We will duplicate this. We'll bring it over to the other side. All right, we got things in the foreground here. And maybe we should get something like right up in the foreground. And then maybe, let's see. Okay, maybe we should, you know, rotate this a little bit too. So there is some intrigue here. See if we can, you know, obviously there's only so much we can do with cubes. We're still blocking this out. We're still feeling it. We're still moving through. Okay, so maybe I want something. Can I get something maybe, and it may not look good. So let's see, really up close to the camera. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I just want to break up these shapes at the bottom here in the foreground, and just really start blocking out what it potentially could look like here. So there we go. We'll rotate this. And then we could start really feeling. Okay, cool. So we got you know, we got that going on. So that's okay. And then the last thing I want here is maybe the empty space at the top. Maybe I should leave it empty, honestly, but let me just add in a small element, maybe something that attracts the eye. So we'll bring that there. We'll do origin to surface there. Okay, so it doesn't have to be, but maybe just cover up kind of like that top half there. Maybe it's something like this, you know. Okay, cool. So we got these elements, and what I'm thinking about is like my sight lines here, things that are gonna bring it towards the center. It doesn't have to be the center. It could be at this point up here. It can even be at the top right. But since we're doing like a real centerpiece here, you know, that's how we're gonna be building it out. All right. So then another thing I'm thinking about is, would it be good if the room went all the way to the top? So let's bring this all the way to the top. And you see that it doesn't look great, so we're gonna stretch it out. Maybe the room, you can barely see the edges of it, like that. And we'll grab the top here, and we'll bring it up. There it is. You know, maybe something like that. Jiraj, good to see ya. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. All right, maybe we can shrink this a little bit. And really think about what we're doing here. All right, so maybe it should enter the wall. I like it because it just stops, but maybe it should go past it. So maybe this is something we can figure out along the way. So I'm just gonna make a decision now. I think I'm gonna keep it, but I'm also gonna think about this third wall here and bringing it further back. And maybe, and this thing's huge. We're making a giant scene here. And we'll go to edit mode. Fairly okay, except I wasn't able to edit a video for a bug report. What type of bug did you find? Alright, let's bring this to the back here. Alright, and now let's edit the top here. Alright, this feels tighter, it feels larger than life maybe. So that's pretty good. And just for the sake of this, what I'm gonna do is, for some depth, I'm not gonna keep this. This is not part of it. But we're gonna add in 1.5, and then we're gonna make this go further back. Obviously, you can't see it, so that's exactly what I want there. But I'm doing this. Maybe I should. We'll do a constant offset. We'll do object offset. And the object we're going to do is. Can we do itself? No, I can't. So we're just going to do an empty. We'll do a circle. And then we'll do an empty. Scale transformations. We'll get this empty. Alright, and then we're going to move this backwards on the Y. And maybe make it larger. And then we'll make less of them. Maybe 3 will be okay. You know, maybe this doesn't look good. I'm just experimenting now. Like if there's 3 big pieces going in, like a big tower going. You know, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. I'm just gonna apply it so I can erase this empty. And I'm gonna put these now into little groups. So we'll put this in its own group called foreground. So FG. That's in there. This is called, let's say, walls. We'll put foreground in there. There it is. We'll put the cylinder. The ground is here. The person who's sitting there, we can see them and stuff. All right. Basically, it was a kind of grease pencil thing I mentioned in Spitfire Discord. Basically, invisible layers, keyframes still contribute to the shading of the visible layers. Nice. Are you? What are you cooking here, by the way? Oh, I'm blocking out like a sci-fi scene. So by the end of this, I can make something cool and atmospheric. So an atmospheric sheen. You know, something of the likes. Trying to use shapes. You know what? I don't like these shapes back here. So we're gonna erase them. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna press L on both of these, hit X, we'll do faces. And we'll keep it like that. Okay, so another thing I want to do is maybe add some more people. So let's add some more peeps. So you know, we'll add them here. This is a for scale type of situation. We'll put 3. You know, something like that. And this centerpiece is going to be something. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something there. So we got our foreground elements. We got our centerpiece. We got our 2 people for scale over there. And I think what I want is, I got things at the bottom left pointing at, kind of like pointing at the center here. I want somehow to figure out to get something to pointing it from the top left and top right. So let's see what we can do there. Maybe we can use some blocks. So I'm gonna duplicate this. If it's gonna be anything like the last one, we're in for a treat. Looks awesome. Yes, it should be somewhat similar to that one. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so let me do some snapping here. And we'll do face, move, okay. Grab. Alright, let's see if we can... Is this on the face? No, it's not. Alright, so let me put the origin on the side here. So let me go into face mode, cursor, set origin, there we go. Alright, so now when I grab this, this should stick onto the walls. Let's see if we can figure out something where we can make this kind of, point you know, at the wall or something. Maybe make them smaller. Just add in a couple elements here to kind of point at it. You know, instead of this, maybe it should be like a different shape or something. Let's see, cursor to selected. I'm gonna erase the face and I'm gonna put in something here like, what elements do we have? We have mostly cubes and cylinders. Can add it. Evelyn says, sorry, I'm late. Oh, you're never late. You're always, whatever time you arrive is you're on time. So you are good. So I think I definitely want something in these like little spots here, right? Like something here, and then something over here, right? Just something to break that up, or maybe it shouldn't be there. Maybe it should be up higher. Let's see. Let me take off snapping. Okay. Maybe something up here. Go here. Maybe we break up the element there. I don't know. I think we're getting pretty close to the amount of blocking that I want, and then we could start exploring some kit bashing stuff, and we can start adding in elements and stuff to see what we want. But this is kind of like, you know, it's back here. Maybe we'll add in some cables or some wires or something. And maybe, So what I'm thinking is, you know, elements back here, but I think we're good with the blocking phase here. I think we're pretty good. And if we look at it here, you know, we see it's nothing. It's nothing right now. So let's go into our rendered mode here. And let's start adding a couple things that I would like to add. So let's take off all lights. By the way, sorry to enter you, but I need to ask you if by any chance you came across a problem with VSC I just did today. Oh man, I hardly ever use the VSC, so I probably did not come into that problem. But what is the problem you're running into? Alright, let me also go into the shader mode. There is something I want to do. So I already, before this render, I made a fog world that I have control over. So that's what I'm adding in here. It's already pre-made, but it's pretty simple. So let's add in the fog. It looks ridiculous, obviously. So we're gonna put this empty in the collections here and call this utility. This is where I like to put my empties, my cameras, my lights, and all that stuff. So there's my light or whatever. But right now, what we have is an empty, which I'm going to call fog start. And this is where we can control kind of like where the fog is at. We can start building up kind of like an ambiance to it. So if we look at the world settings, we already have them here, which is pretty cool. And then we can use the divide, and we can start dividing this to kind of give it like an ambience there. We can really start building out what this is going to look like. And the empty kind of controls where the fog starts. So I'm going to have it start, you know, kind of before the camera. We're going to divide it a bit more. Maybe see what clamp does. Clamp doesn't do anything, but start doing the ambience. We could take the density off, kind of brightens it up there at the end. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's not. We're still working through. What I am losing are my little characters here, so that's what we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what we're doing here. So, you know, it's looking like we could do some sort of ambience here. All right, Gerard says, but basically upon importing video footage, had no sound, but it had a sound strip. Sound strip was shorter than movie strip. That wasn't really a problem. Problem was that where the sound strip stopped, the content of the video strip also did. Ooh. But in proxy, it displayed as it should. Only in the render, the footage stopped. Yeah, I would have no idea how. I would really have to dive deep into the VSC. I, for the most part, do not use VSC or like it yet. We'll see. But I do not use the VSC. Let me know if you figure that issue out. I'm sure it's something. It's either a straight up issue or like some sort of technical problem. All right, so we could choose our color. Let's see what type of color. Let's go for a purple, maybe pink or something. Create this ambience a little better here. We also have control over it here by bringing this up or down. It's interesting. It doesn't change in the render. It just doesn't really change. It only changes if we divide it here. Cool. And then we can put it into color here. Interesting. And then can we change it here? Yes, we can move it also here. But anyway, I have it being, like I said, being controlled by this fog that I can no longer see. Where is it? It is right. Oh, it's way far back here. If we look at it from above, you can see that the fog starts off where this starts. Where the empty is. And we can divide this to be, further there. Let's see if we can add in maybe one more math converter here. Let's see if this does anything for us. It doesn't look like it. Let me put 0. I guess this is how you can really control the brightness here. Alright, I don't think we're going to do this. We're going to hit M there. Control X. Get it off. We have the emissions. Alright, we're going to save right now. And we'll call this, sci-fi scene. Just for now. Okay, cool. So this is kind of like our ambience that we're setting up here, which I like a lot. The fogness, and this is without lights or anything. So this is kind of like a forced lighting that's happening in here. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in a couple of things. Let me change the setting here. I always go back and forth. I'm going to do auto depth. So when I rotate, it rotates around whatever object I have. Is that what it is? No. I just feel like my rotating is a little off, so that's why I changed it. Okay, so let's add in some lights, right? Let's see what lighting does here for us. What if we did a sun? Looks ridiculous, obviously, because it's too bright. But we can start adding a sun. We have our kind of like our fade that happens in the back that we can control. We have our sun. We can also change the sun to a different color. So this can start giving it a different ambience here. Do I even want it to be a sun? So the sun's pointing directly down at it. Maybe we want it to be pointing at it. So this right now we're just playing around. Another thing is I have soft shadows here. Sometimes you might want to play with if you want soft shadows at all. So you can go to shadows and take that off and just do straight up hard shadows. You do get kind of like this chunky shadowness there, which is what is on this changes like the smoothness, but we'll keep it there. We'll keep it soft shadows just for now. And then our lights, we could change the angle to make it like a lot softer and smoother. Kind of give us a weird ambience here. So yeah, right now we're just really setting up some lights here. So let's keep setting up lights until we feel like it's something we like. We can make it not appear on the diffuse or the specular even. We can even make it not appear on the volume, but I don't think this does anything different, right? No. So all that's happening is the light is hitting the volume, or the objects, right? So that's why we're getting some color here. You know, we can make this brighter. You know, it's interesting the type of like I guess it's like the rendering for it. We could take off shadows and we could just play with the lighting of the objects there, right? So we're just playing around. Okay, and then another thing, what if we do an area light instead? So we'll bring the area light. Actually, let's keep the sun. Let's keep the shadows for now. Just for now. I'm also controlling the shadow here. These are all these settings I've never really played with. So let's do it. It says 1,000. I think that was the normal amount. You know, it hits everything there. All right. So many settings to mess with here. Okay. Let me stop playing with this light stuff. Let's just add in a second light. So we have our sun. We'll call it sun so we know what it is. We'll hit Shift D. We'll duplicate it. We'll call this area .000 because we may do more. And then we'll also put both of these into a collection called lights in the utilities collection. I just like to stay organized as best I can. There we go. We got our lights all in one area. So this area, we're going to change it to an area. Once we do that here. And let's see what it looks like with the fog on and all that stuff. So there's the area. I'm going to do this. I'm going to then move it to the top here. So selection to cursor. There it is. Does it even show up? If I put 10,000, 1, 2, 3. Alright, it lights that up. So that's pretty cool. And we can also, let's make the size of the light much bigger. It does soften it up a bit, right? We can also make it not appear in the thing, in the volume. But what I'm not getting here is usually you can see the light in the fog. Let's see if we can fix that. So this light, we'll make it white. Is it the size? Is that what it is? It is the size. There it is. Now we can see it. Now we can see it blinking there. So we're gonna bring it right in the center on the X. We're gonna bring it up to the center here. Let's times this by 10. Looks ridiculous. Maybe that's way too much, obviously. But does the area light not produce like a spot? I guess it doesn't. Unless it's like at an angle you can kind of see it. Alright, there's a value I want to mess with here. I want to put a math node there and then say multiply. There we go. And then we can also put the color here too, right? Alright, we can really start setting this ambiance here, right? There's it, super bright. Okay. Alright, so I guess it's only the point light that makes like a spot. You can definitely see it there, but it's like super far. Is it because of the distance? Shadow. Let's see if my settings for my volumetrics is correct. Volumetric, shadows are on. Maybe this needs to be set to 2000. Nope, that's fine. We'll set this to 2. Well, the distribution makes it much sharper. Yeah, I guess this is what I was thinking, right? And I guess that's controlled by what size? Alright, I guess we're not going to do it that way. We'll do area. And then we will bring everything up. We'll divide this by 4. Divide by 2. Divide by 1. Don't 2, I'm sorry. And let's see what a spotlight looks like. A spotlight looks pretty cool. Let's look at it up close. I guess it should be further back here. And if we did like a cone or something. Spot cone. Kind of gives it an interesting look. This may look good on the walls going back. So, alright, we're just playing with lights. Whoa. That's because it's the sun there. Alright, let's go. We've been playing around too much. Let's just go 10,000. Area light. The size is going to be 50 by 50. 50 by 50. There it is. Make sure to shade smooth there. We'll move the light forward. We'll change the light to a color. And maybe times it by 5. Okay, we'll make it probably less saturated. Okay. Alright, so less saturated, blah 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 blah. We got a lamp here. Yeah, this is like way up in front. So it's kinda like lighting our people down here. Okay, so we got a light. We got the front lights. If we turn off our sun, I think without the sun it looks pretty cool. Okay, and then it's cool that you can control the specular and the custom distance and all that stuff. Custom shadows. There we go. Okay. So we got some of our scene there. Let me just check a couple things. If I were to put, I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna make it into a spot. I'm gonna make it small. Right, so it's like a super spotlight. We're gonna bring it up against the wall here. So it makes kind of like these lights here. And we can see that light all the way back. Okay. So it's pretty cool. We can make it spread out. It's a little bright. What if we divide it by 3? We blend it. We take off shadows because I don't think we need it. Alright, alright. Cool. So we're just playing with lights. Seeing what's possible here. Alright, so then one thing I want to test out is also bloom. Let's see what the bloom looks like. I'm going to save. Sometimes adding in this extra stuff. Like if this was like super bright, right? Like times 10. It does start to bloom over there. Alright, there's an actual bloom. Okay. Pretty cool. We can even light it up back here. Maybe that highlights it better. Maybe we do a different color. I don't know about yellow. Maybe like a light blue. Could look good, but we're gonna have to keep experimenting. Because I may just want it to be dark back there. But what I would like is like, I don't know, a catch light behind it. A rim light, that's what I'm thinking of. So like if this was the center here, and it was only catching on the side here, like this type of light. But what if we made it small? What if we made it an area? What if we made it 5 by 5? What if we rotated it on the Y90? Okay. And then what if we rotate it on the X so we can kind of catch a light here? Okay, so maybe that's what I want. I want to catch a light on the edges there. I'm gonna hit Alt D, so I'm gonna do like a link duplicate. We'll rotate it on the Z, move it on the X, and we'll catch the X here. And I'm gonna do it in a way where I don't catch this light here, or I don't catch this wall. Is there any way I can miss this wall? Oh, that the other one's doing it. Okay, that's what's happening. They're both catching each other. But maybe that's good. So we're just faking it like some light, like if this thing is like glowing, right? And this is good because I can change the color of the same one, blah, 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 right? So, you know, easy stuff. Because we can turn this off, and then we can just bring it up slightly. Let's say like 1000. Wow, these lights have to be bright. Times 10. Wow, okay, times 10. Okay, and then divide by 2. Okay, so maybe like something like this. Kind of gleans off the top there. Something we can also do is make this taller. So let's make the size on the X much taller. So it kind of disperses all along the walls there. But we don't want it to hit the ground. But we do want it to glow. Okay. That's pretty cool. We can make it so it doesn't even appear on the diffuse, and it kind of gives it an interesting look. We can times this by 10. I mean, that's ridiculous. Never mind. So we'll hit save. Okay, cool. So we got a little highlight that's going on the top, the bottom there. Everything's correct here, right? Let's see. This is 90. There we go. And this should be 90 as well. Okay. Okay, it's looking pretty decent there. All right, so whatever we're lighting in the middle there, it's gonna be lit by these two lights. And I think since these are linked, if I turn on shadows for both, they both turn on, right? They do. Okay, great. You can't see a difference too much, so I may just leave it off for now. We could definitely turn it off for later, but we could definitely start seeing the highlights here for these like little characters. Cool. So I want to make this a little bit more asymmetrical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of these boxes, and I'm going to hit Shift D, and I'm going to just make kind of like a small panel here. Kind of like I don't know, to break it up. Once again, I'm still kind of blocking this type of stuff in. Seeing what's like the most interesting. This is just like a panel, a console or something that's like coming out of this thing here. You know, maybe these guys are standing next to it. Let's bring back our lines just so we can see where things are at. So things are pretty shaping up pretty well. We're lined up with like a lot of things I have here. These guys are pretty close. I don't want them to get too close to the cylinder because I don't want any tangents, right? I don't want the characters to be in a tangent there. So there it is. We got the tangents. We got like these lights going on. This is looking. We're getting closer to like a look and stuff. Okay. Sometimes I have a bad tendency of like overly putting too much detail, and by detail I just mean objects and shapes in the scene. Sometimes simple is better. Like right now I want to add more to the walls, but maybe that's not good, right? Like what if, and we're just gonna test it out right now. Bring these down here. Well, instead of duplicating them, let's just bring them down. All right, like is that better? Mateus Toby, details are good. No, yes, definitely. They're definitely great. They're definitely great. I just know I have a bad habit on my particular work. When it comes to details, you don't want to clutter the eye. You need places of rest for your vision, for you to see. So yes, details are good. When I mean details, I don't mean everything should be blank. I mean that there should be big, middle, big, little, big, medium, small. I don't know if you know about that, or like the 70-30 rule. You need places of rest for your eyes, and then patches of detail and stuff. So, and then the reason I'm saying it now is because this is still sort of the block out phase. I'm still blocking this out, and I will be adding small details. So those small details can come. But thank you. I will not shy from them. Alright, so maybe we can put these guys here. Kind of brings us to the horizon. I'm also curious what these look like with like an emission shader. Let's see what they look like. We'll call this emission .000. Add it to this one. I'm just curious what these look like when they're further back in the scene here. Yeah, since they don't really illuminate the area around them, it doesn't. I don't think it reads well. But it does cause a nice little flare at the edges here. Like if this is being, if like we put them at the top, you see that it looks like they're being lit up there. Maybe we could put like some blue light. Actually, let's just copy what color these are. There we go. Cool. This looks kind of cool. What's also cool about this one is that I could probably duplicate this. We will center it here. We'll bring this at the top. And then stretch this out. Alright, this can look like it's being lit super bright from the top. Just outside of the scene here. Right. But why are these guys so bright? Oh, it's because they have the wrong material on them. Alright, so let's put this just to call it default, and let's just make this a principal shader so these guys aren't shining there. Oh, okay, cool. So we got some stuff going on here. I can see we could do like a trail and stuff. So a couple big-ish, small-ish details I think I want to add are maybe some like a couple of cables, not a lot, just a couple of thick cables coming from the floor here to really lead up to the area there. So I'm gonna look at it from above, and I'm going to make a new collection, and we're gonna call this cable. We're going to add in a curve Bezier. We're gonna select this, delete the vertices, but then we have a tool in here where we could just draw our Bezier lines. So we can do this, and then we can add in the geometry. Let's add in that's not what I want. It's is it bevel? Hold on. Okay, offset 0 and extrude 0. It's gonna be. It is bevel. There it is. So we got this line going on here. All right, we'll look at it from above, and you know, we'll go and we'll figure out if, you know, if this even works. This may not work. I may not like this. We'll do that. We'll erase this vertice and this vertice. You know, we'll rotate this. This can just go like it's like one cable. You know, just going in here. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's too big. Maybe if it's too thin, it's annoying. Doesn't that matter really? Don't care too much. But yeah, that's there. We'll call it cable that 000. We'll hit save. Okay, and then, you know, maybe we'll go here. And that kind of like gives us some like lead up to whatever the heck we're looking at here. So that's good. We got our sides lit up pretty well. These big old bloom lights on the sides. just at a scene there. So that's good. What else are we doing here? So I think I can move on from this blocking and start adding in some actual detail elements. But let me just play with a couple more things here. It looks ridiculous on the right screen though. Isn't that funny with these like giant lights? They're super bright going through. And it kind of keeps our eyes down here where they need to be and stuff. So that's cool. Let me get out of here. All right, so let's see. Let me think. It's only been an hour. I feel like we're getting real close. Okay. Let me make sure everything's okay here. Let's see. We're gonna add. Let me just add in a shape. I just want to see what it looks like. Shade smooth. Set origin to 3D cursor. We'll put this at the top there. Alt G. We'll scale up. Yeah, maybe I do want some like shapes back here to kind of like bring out, give some depth to this scene. You know, these are just temporary, but I just need to see. Okay. Can't really see them back here. Obviously, if I put this to emissions, I'll see it, right? Yeah. There we go. And then maybe we'll add in another one over here. You can barely see them. Maybe if we change a couple things here. by going into our color management. And we'll change to very high contrast. Let's see what that looks like. You can see it much better with the very high contrast right there. But we're going to do medium contrast for now, and then fix it later. Maybe medium high. Maybe make it pop out just a tad bit in there. So let's mess with a couple things. I'm going to hit save just in case I want to revert back. And I'm going to move my fog further back. You know, without the fog, you can't even see them. So that's interesting. Let's try and divide by bigger numbers here. So there we go. We can see it better there, but it's like way too strong. So it's at 500 now. Let's go to 1000. Okay, so it does fade out in the back there a little better by doubling up the fog here. Kind of gives it this cast, which is pretty good. All right. Do like that you can barely see it, and I think that's the small detail I wanted. Not necessarily that they have to be triangles, but just that there's some detail there to look at. You know, if anything, they can be something more like against the wall here, where they are leading the eye a bit better. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two triangles with Control J. We're going to erase these guys that are on the right. We're going to center our cursor. We're going to do that, and then we're going to hit mirror, and then that should work out. On the and I forgot that I have to do all transformations. There we go. So now we got something that's a little bit more symmetrical, gives it more of that line of sight. The glare at the top kind of brings our vision down. We got our lights going. It feels good. So that's good. There we go. Push these up there. And then these guys can maybe be same thing. We'll add in a mirror for this too. So we'll hit the origin to 3D cursor. We'll erase this. We'll go here, all transformations, blah blah blah. In the mirror modifier, puts it on the side. We'll put it over here. You know, maybe we'll duplicate this and continue forward. Maybe these are a bit bigger. This is guiding the eye a little bit better. Maybe these are much bigger, and maybe these are smaller, but they stick out a little bit more. There we go. Alright, so we're pointing, everything leads to this centerpiece here. Obviously, if we bring back our vision here. Where is it? There it is. We got the lines all correct, all set up. We got some symmetry going on. We got some foreground elements. If we add it in, let's see. I usually don't like adding in that depth of field. I usually like everything pretty crisp. So let's add in depth of field. And see what that looks like. We'll put in depth of field, and we're going to put in our cylinder element, and then we're going to make it blurry. Also, in the viewport, I saw that there is a depth of field. I know that you can see it here, but there's a depth of field. Oh, it's in this mode. That's right. interesting. You could do it in this mode, which is pretty cool. So that's cool. Obviously, depth of field, you know, it's a little strong, obviously. But it's there if we need it. We'll hit save, and then we'll keep going. All right. So that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Let's start figuring out what's going to be in the center. Let's start switching out some elements. Let's see if we can start making this look add in the detail, so to speak. So let's change our little stand-ins with little tiny people. And I bought Kit Ops. It's an add-on, and I bought some packs of people that I like to use. I'm gonna buy more, but that's what I'm about to append in here. So let's append some assets. Where is it? Kit Ops. For some reason they're called Dosh. And then all our people are here. So what I'm gonna do is, before I import them, let me make out a collection, call it people, have it highlighted, and then we'll append it in. Append assets, Kit Ops, Deutsch, all objects, all but this one, all but this one. And we want the selection to active collection, instance actions localize. Okay. So alright, so here's all our people. I don't know why they're all parented on here, but I guess we can move them around. And let's distribute some of these people out here. There's some people I don't want though. Alright, so I don't want this, this, or this. Okay, let's start distributing some of these people. So I'm gonna go and select all these. I don't like that they're all parented to this plane, so I'm gonna hit Alt P and clear the parent. Then I'll have this plane here. I'm gonna hit save, and we can start distributing some of these people. So this guy, this guy. So this guy's gonna replace our cube here. So I'm gonna do selection to cursor, right? Selection to cursor. There we go. We can erase this cube. There's our guy. And when in my block out phase, I'm gonna make a collection called persons, just so I'm able to turn these off pretty quickly. Assets. So we're gonna click on that. Map. Block out. Persons. There you go. Now when I take these off, those guys should be there. Okay. We're doing good. Alright. The next person are these two over there in that corner. We'll have this guy looking at a clipboard. So let's do this guy. So we'll select the guy with the clipboard and we'll do selection of cursor. He should be over there now. We'll erase this. We're going to rotate him until he looks interesting. Maybe 180 degrees on Z. So rotate Z 180. So in this scene, you can see that he's like, I don't know, looking down or something. Alright, so then our next person here. Maybe this person, it's like a medical person going in or something. So let's move this cursor there. So cursor to selected. And we'll move in our selection to cursor. We'll put it in. We'll rotate this person so they're looking the right way. Rotate. And I just want to see both of the legs. You can see on the left here, right? They're like walking away. Maybe walking away will be cool. But I want to see both of their legs. So we'll put them right there. There we go. Alright, we got our guys there. We'll put both of these guys also in the block out persons. So I want to turn this off. Our guys stay there. Very good, very good. He should not look this way. He should look the other way. 180. But we'll look at this guy here. He could be looking at it kind of like this. I want to see the leg separation. I'm looking at the silhouette if it looks good, you know? That's really what I'm looking at. Okay, there we go. We got that. And you know, maybe we'll add some more people, but for right now we're gonna have the rest of the people deactivated. But we got our 3 that we have there, so we'll save that. Alright, so that's our people. Let's see, let's think about what we can do next to continue to this. Alright, let's actually lower the emissions on this. Let's do like 30, so it's like a lot less bright, just so we can see the glare a lot less on there. Alright, so let's keep it thinking. Alright, let's see if we can figure out a floor situation here. The floor is all applied, it's all good. Okay, let's see some different materials here that we're just gonna play with. So I'm gonna get rid of this header here, and look at some of these materials. Most of these are not going to work. I bought these materials on the Unity store, and then for the Unity game engine, and I converted them so they work with Blender. So that's what I have. I just wanted some hand painted textures. I looked for hand painted textures in the Unity store. That's where I got this. So just in case anybody's interested, that's where I got it. So we could definitely, I always want to use these. I end up not using them because they usually don't look good in my scenes, but I definitely want to figure out a way to use them. There's so many materials that I enjoy here that I like, that I think would look cool. So let's add in something like a square. Let's add in this. There's a lot going on in this, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it smaller, see what it looks like. I don't like that it repeats like that. Maybe it should distort. There it is. Add some random rotation to it. Kind of distort it. Make it look like it's doing something more interesting. And let's mess with some of these settings. I mean, this could look good. I don't know if it's a little bit too much here. Could be too much detail. Too much detail. We're gonna rotate it. mean, we can keep that one on the back burner. I want something simpler than that. Let's try this one. Let's make the scale smaller. Let's distort it a bit. We just want to add in a little bit of detail here. It doesn't have to be like... doesn't have to be anything crazy. I do look like that I can cut out most of that. I can make it real dark up in front. Maybe make it metallic. Not make it as shiny, maybe. Take away the specular. Or bring it in. Maybe bring the scale up. So let's bring it to 0 again. Yeah, see the big chunks I think is what actually looks good. It looks okay. Still playing around with these settings. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, though. We'll keep it for now. All right, let's put on the material on the walls. And maybe I'm overcomplicating it. I'm trying to force these textures. That's what I'm doing. Sometimes that's not good. It's not good to force it. Could be good with just gradients. Okay. Let's see if we can make these walls. What if they look sci-fi? Alright, let's make the scale small. Oh, let's also unwrap these. There it is. You can't even see them in the render itself. You can barely see them. There's some detail in here. Let's see if we can make them a little bit more pronounced by changing some of these settings. Yeah, like I said, you can barely see these. You can see them on the right screen, but when it comes to like the camera view, you cannot see them. Let's see. Let's see if we can add in a light to make them more visible. Maybe that's what it needs. So let's go back to our utility. We have our area lights, right? We have the top one, the left, the right. If we put the sun, that just lights up the guys in the front. We're going to take away the sun. We're going to delete that. Or call it something else. Let's call it wall. And then change this from a sun to a point. Figure out where that guy is. There he is. Let's bring it over here. And we can see the walls They're going. Let's bring this down to like up to 20,000. 20,000 watts to see if we can see this in the render. Okay, we can see it here. So really what we need to be lighting up is this particular section, right? So let's see if we'll add in a area. We will just rotate it so it's facing up at the wall. So that's a negative 90 degrees. And we'll make these pretty big. And maybe we'll take it off of volume. Put it on specular. Now we'll put it back on here. Alright, times 10. Maybe that's a little bright. Divided by 2. Alright, maybe not times 10. Yeah, maybe we're getting a little bright in here, but maybe we should make this more of that pink color. So let's go into the world. Let's figure out what that pink color is at. There it is. And let's just make these lights pink. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Alright, we're gonna erase. We're gonna take away the wall ones again. A little too much detail there. Okay. So we got that. Let's see if we can give this a material. Nope, that's the ground. Alright, keeps doing the ground here. Can we make it not selectable? Let's bring in our filters. Make it not selectable. Let's try this again. Can we do it now? There it is. We're going to change this one to generated. Sorry. We're going to change the object here. We're going to change this to generated. See what that looks like. And then we'll just change some settings here. See if this looks... it looks like it blends right in. We should also bring this up so it's like sitting on top here. You know, or maybe it should have... maybe it should just be radiating a thing. I have some materials or some FX materials that I have made in the past, and now they're going to be used today. So let's scroll to the top. Let's try some different materials here. You know, that looks okay. How about like a hologram material? Let's see what that looks like. Barely tell. Can I make this a pink color? Looks okay. And then we'll do another one. See, there's like way too much detail going on in there. Too busy on the eyes. But, you know, we're getting close to something. You know, if we just did a material where we just did, let's say, like an emissions, we could just make it glow, and then we can call this cable, and it can just be a thing. I guess let's edit some of this cable stuff. Let's edit some of it here. Alright, so first thing I want to do a mix shader. We're going to do something easy by putting a glossy. We'll add in a for now. This is some basic stuff. Basic stuff. For now, we'll do color ramp. We'll put the color ramp in there for now. Put that into the factor. We will then see how this is going. We're going to put this onto constant. Right now, the opposite is glowing. The outside is glowing. So we're going to flip the colors. We will put in the shader to be more reflective. There we go. And then we can make the inside shine a bit more there. Looks like it's glimmering. There we go. So this can look like it's like a cable that's alive. We could probably lower this to 10 and make this less saturated. There we go. Let's see if we can actually add a I don't know, some different colors so it's just not blue. We're gonna do this, put this here, put this onto generated. Okay, so let's add in some different colors here. Can we do a blue, a red, and a blue? Let's see. We can vary that up. I don't know if I like that. We're gonna keep going though. We'll make this into a 10 so it's not super bright. And for interesting sake, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one of these texture coordinates, put this onto the normals for now. I'm just curious what that looks like. Interesting. And reflection. Okay. Don't like any of that. Okay, we're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep adding in stuff here. Okay. Alright. Alright. Alright, for now we're just going to make the cable a principal shader. We'll make it specular high, metallic high, roughness down. So it's like a shiny cable. And the base color is going to be like pink or something. For the settings, we'll make sure to put screen space reflections. We'll call it a day. For now. Okay, so we got that going on, blah, blah, blah. Alright, and then for these front elements is now what we're going to be replacing with some kit bashing. And these are also elements that I've bought throughout the years to use. So we're going to replace these 4 boxes until they look like something else. They could just be sci-fi looking objects. Honestly, we could use one of these cylinders for the center cylinder that is already modeled for me, already ready to go. Let's try that. Let's actually do the middle object first. Let's look for some good cylinders here. There's a couple. Maybe it's not the main piece, but it will be a big piece. Let's see. Alright, we'll rotate this guy 90 on the Y. Shade smooth. We'll bring this guy up here. Alright, we're gonna just hide this. Actually, let me find it first. Yeah, we're gonna hide it. And we're also gonna put the origin at the bottom here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into it, look at the bottom, go to line mode, realize that this is a mess. We'll put the origin somewhere there. Alright, that should be good. Set origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Okay. Alright, so what I don't like is that I'm losing my guys down here, so this is why this is too much detail. This is the caveat. We're losing it. We're losing it. We can't see those guys. They're so tiny. They're so not visible. So we're gonna bring in the ground material that I brought in, that I made yesterday, into here. That's simple enough. So let's go back to yesterday's live, or 2 days ago's live stream. Project files, blah blah blah, material, and I think I called it floor. Let's see if we can now choose the ground floor, which is right here. Ground material, and then hopefully that's the right material I got. Let me save real quick. Okay. Yes, this floor is working much better for me. I'm able to see what is happening here. I'll probably end up tweaking it a bit, but this is what I'm talking about. It's more visible. Alright, what I'm doing is I'm trying to move these lines here. And I can't find them. Hold on. There they are. There we go. Anyway, this works a lot better. Good thing I made it already. Okay, so that solved one issue. Good thing I made that floor yesterday. Okay, so that centerpiece, ugly, don't like it, but we're gonna keep moving. And see if we can figure out what we can have in the center there. I don't know what's in the center there. Should it just be something cool? Alright, let's go back to what I was originally saying, and figuring out if we can find out some rectangular or square things we can add. Like I see this guy right here that can work pretty well. once again, I hate that I have to reset these origins. I don't like where they're at usually. So I put in the origins at the bottom there. There we go. It has to do for scaling, so I can scale and it stays on the floor. So this cube can be replaced here. There it is. And it gives it more of an interesting shape, even though it's really just the same thing. Just giving it a bit of an extra look. Alright, so let's look up for another piece. That's cool. That's like a giant thing. Let's see, maybe this post tube would look cool. We will rotate it on the Y90 and make it big. Maybe another cylinder would be cool. Maybe make it smaller and then erase this guy. So see, we could start making it look like this is some sort of like construction, you know, make it a little asymmetrical here. Maybe bring it out a little bit over here. There we go. Alright, now let's look up for another element. Then we can start coloring these elements, making them look a little bit more interesting, or to fit the color theme really is what I want when I make these. I'm very interested in the color. Okay, so let's see. I want to know the square one. I feel like I have two cylinder ones, even though that one is a square. So what I'm looking for is square. Scroll to the top. Scroll to the top here. Let's see if we can find something cool looking. Let's see if this looks cool. Rotate this on the 90 negative. Let's do 90. Alright, that looks cool. A little bit too much detail, so let's rotate it on the X180. Maybe it'll look better on the other end. Alright, so these boxes are over here, even though they look like they're right next to each other. So let's bring it over. I'm going to look at it from above and just line it up real good here. I'm going to erase the box. Start bringing this guy up here. Maybe that is something like this. Let's do it from above. You can see that the fog's not hitting these parts, and that may not be a good thing, but we'll see. Alright, I don't know about that particular object, but we gotta keep moving, right? We're about almost 2 hours in. We gotta start making decisions here. Like if we added in the camera blur, right? You know, it looks kind of cool. It's not focused on the right thing here. There it is. You know, too much blur, but if you put a little bit on there, you can kind of really add to it. Okay. Let's replace this one. Let's see, we'll look for another piece. I feel like I've done a lot of cylinder stuff. I know I'm following the motif here, but I would like a square. A small character on the front object would make the space look massive, in my opinion. Good idea. So Jiraj, right after I replace this cube, I will do that. I will do that. And we'll see what it looks like. We'll see if we like it. Mostly me, though. We'll see if I like it. Oh man. Okay, so let's find a cube thing. I want something. I feel like there's so much detail in this stuff. Since there's gonna be a little character, let's put this right here. All right, and we're gonna look at it from the front here. I'm gonna bring this object down. There we go. There, and we'll look at it from above. Bring it in closer. There we go. We'll erase the cube. Okay, we're replacing our objects. I think we got it. You said somebody in the front would look good. I wonder if we can position that. Let's see. Let's look at it from the lion's point of view. If we like it, speaking plural, like your venom. Exactly. All right, let's see if we can add a little character here without it being crazy. So I'm gonna put the cursor here, and I do that by hitting, what is it? I hold shift and I right click, so I put the cursor right on there. Let me turn on my people assets. Let's see which person would be good to use. Let's do somebody who has a nice silhouette here. Maybe somebody doing an action. Let's do this guy. He's like putting on his like thing. That may not be good. We'll do selection to thing. We don't even see him on there. Let's see if we can get him to show up. There he is. He's popping in. Alright, let's move this a little further. Let's take away our people assets real quick. Oh no, forgot to move him. Let's move him into our block out persons. Now let's take away our people. There it is. Now we'll rotate this on the 90-degree. Put the little persons on there, you know. Maybe this element is not good. Maybe something like this. This could work. Put them right here in this little corner. I wonder if adding like a light to this character would help at all in any way, shape, or form. So let's put in a area, and we'll also put this in the lights. You know, something like this. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a constraint to this light, and we're going to do a damp track, and we're going to damp track to this guy, and then we will do, is it -Z? Okay, cool. So then when I aim this light at him, we could do like a different light here. Still thinking about it, if I like it or not. We can make it super bright in here. You know, maybe you should stay in silhouette. Figuring out color. I'm not sure if I like it. I think I do. Maybe, what if we didn't have any depth of field? Let's just make sure that. Or maybe we put a very little depth of field. Like, just a little bit. Maybe it should be more of a silhouette. Alright, let's try more of a silhouette. No lights. Take away all the deets. Since the main focal point should be the center tower. Yes. Alright. We'll keep it. You're right. Silhouette looks better. What I don't... I want to see if I could bring in a better thing here. Let me... Cursor to selected. Okay. Let me see if I can get a better silhouette. Like, what if we did this guy, right? Right, and we do something like this. And then like, what's he calling to? I mean, I don't want to pressure you to emphasize too much anything, just brainstorming. No, you trust me, I'm pretty resilient to I'm resilient to that type of stuff. Don't you worry. Brainstorming is part of the fun. Alright, so let's do... Maybe there's too much storytelling here. Maybe it should just be the silhouette. Alright. We're going to... say no to that one. Maybe there's a different silhouette. I think we're gonna keep the one that I had though, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't have maybe this guy with the clipboard. That feels like a good silhouette there. Alright. So cursor to selected. Alright, let's get this guy out of the way. And let's get this clipboard guy. There it is. There you go. This is much better silhouette. We'll bring down this light that's on this character much lower. Let's do the constraints. And do the light. Let's bring it in. I just want like the tiniest bit. Like the tiniest bit. Just want a little bit. Just want a little bit. Just a little detail. Alright, I think we'll work with that for right now. Until I decide at the end. We'll see. I do like the guy there, though. For now. So let's move this guy to the right place. Let's put him into block out persons so then I can get rid of these other people. And get rid of this guy too. People assets. Alright. Alright, so a couple things I'm already noticing. Like I said, the fog is appearing not as strong as I want it to be, even though it is there. Let's go back to the world. Well, it's not strong in the front here. Or maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the whole point, right? That's what it's supposed to look like. Alright, there you go. And we can change this to any color too. We still have room for color in, which is pretty cool. We'll save that. We'll divide this by... Alright. Oh, it looks pretty good. Gives it some high contrast. If I reverse these. Alright. Let's just keep it going here. Okay, so we got our elements that we've changed up here. The foreground. I think I do like the depth of field, but very slight. So it's kind of in there. We got our ground material looking pretty good. Has detail over there on the right side. Okay. Now let's see if we can change some of these. Change more of these elements that I don't like. I don't like it. Okay, so this disc at the top here, we could definitely change. I have plenty of disc that we can use with some extra details on them. So let's try using let's try using some of these. Let's try this one. So cursor to selected, and I'm going to do selection of cursor, and we're going to delete this. Also, this is not centered, is it? I guess it is centered. I'm just yep, looks pretty centered. Okay, so we're gonna rotate this on the X90 or the Y90, or is it 180? There we go. Yeah, it's 180. All right, so this does have more detail and it looks good. Maybe we could squish it too. All right, and we're gonna get rid of the center object here. Something I am gonna do is I'm gonna bring back the center object. I'm gonna do cursor to selected. I'm gonna add in a empty. It's gonna be a cube, and we're gonna move that empty to our utilities. There it is. We'll call this camera focus, because I'm tired of moving the camera focus. So we're gonna just put it onto this empty. We'll erase this piece here. Where's the camera focus? Where's the camera? Boom. And then we'll go to the camera, focus on object. It will be, let me type it in, camera focus. Okay, and then the camera focus is here. It's right here in the center, and we know that the blurriness is going to be there. All right. Okay. Let's see what we can put in the center here. What is just some interesting objects we have? Maybe it can be, you know. Also, is this object, if we didn't have it here, would it work better? I think it would. So for right now, I'm gonna make this object invisible, and we're gonna fix these lights right now, but because that light coming in, but maybe that's good actually. Okay, good stuff. We keep it asymmetrical. We're looking sweet here. We got this floating little detailed bit up here. So let's see if we can add something, you know. Let's see. Could be an object, could be a person. Maybe I should just add in a person here. Just floating there, looking all cool and stuff. But that's not interesting. Maybe something organic, an organic essence, an organic thing. Maybe we can make that. I have time. I'm only 2 hours in. Got about, I could do about an hour. I saw some antennas in here. Like, would it be cool to add these antennas? Let's see. Let me add them to this right here. Alright, like, do something like this. I guess you can't tell it's an antenna unless the light hits it perfectly. There it is, little antenna there. We'll see. We'll see how that looks. We can always delete this stuff. Alright, we'll do a nice little save here. The centerpiece. It's always what? It's what we're here for, huh? Maybe I'll do something, like I said, maybe I'll do something organic. Maybe something organic that's just floating in there. Maybe glitchy organic or something. Maybe we could do something like that. Because I feel like all this other stuff, all this technical stuff around it, can really contrast it if there was something, I don't know, more organic in there. What if we did? This might be silly. What if we did like what if we did a tree? Huh? Is that too basic? Is that basicness? Grease Monkey, why aren't you using the shaders for this lighting? Kelly, because I like to do a lot of different types of work, and I just don't want everything to be part of the shader, because I like to make different types of artwork. That's why. So I'm putting the shader to rest for a while, because I have shader fatigue. But that's why. Because I want to get better at Blender in many different aspects of it, not just using the toon shader. I want to make scenes, but that's why. All right, let's do this. Let's center this cursor. We're going to lower this 3D cursor down. Alright, our 3D cursor is right in the center where it needs it to be. Let me make a cylinder. There we go. I'll do a shade smooth, auto smooth. So origin to 3D cursor. There we go. Alright. Put the 3D cursor at the center there. Alright, let's see if we add in a tree. Huh? Would a tree look cool? Let's see. It'll be a psychedelic tree though, so that's what we're gonna do. Sapling tree gen. So I'm gonna put in this add-on. It comes with Blender. Used all the time, really. And then I'm gonna add it. I think it's here, right? Yeah, sapling tree gen. It does it at this origin at 0, 0? That's not where I want it. Is there a way to make it spawn at... Or was it Ivy Gen that I was supposed to do? Alright, so yeah, I think we're gonna do an Ivy Gen. I just think it's unfortunate it doesn't spawn at the cursor. Alright, let's do the geometry. Branch radius. Is there? I thought there was like settings here. Oh, load presets. Here we go. Weeping Willow. Weeping Willows are cool. White branch. A willow. Oh, that broke. A Douglas fir. What is that? Japanese maple? Small maple? Small pine. A weeping willow. Maybe we'll do a weeping willow. We'll add in the leaves. Can we make the leaves larger? Alright, and then we're just gonna keep it at that. Alright, so is this all connected together? Nope, it's not. We're gonna put this into a new collection called Tree. And we're gonna move this now. Selection the cursor. Make this thing giant. Right. We'll get the leaves. We'll put in an emissions here. Something ridiculous. Ah! We'll call this leaves. We will go to leaves. Maybe less leaves? It looks ridiculous. I'm gonna add in some details to these leaves so we can distinctly see them a little better. Just add in a mix shader here. We'll do 2 leaves, 2 leaf colors. And we'll go between that color, let's say a different color here. We'll call these at 1. There we go. Gives it a little bit more detail there. Kind of weird. What if we put, let's do an input so I can control both of these lights at the same time. Input value. Okay, but what if I just did 1 for the super blue, right? What I would like is like something kind of fantastical. Let's see. Could we make this so we can see these colors better? I used to have a way where we can make the colors vibrant, because the brighter it gets, the more closer it gets to white. And I think it's something with light path, if I remember correction. It's like let's see, shadow, reflection, camera ray. It's not shadow ray. Singular ray. Reflection ray. Just an unrelated note. Can't wait for the grease pencil node. What do you plan to do with the grease pencil node, Jirash? What is it that you're gonna be doing with it? What are you excited for? How do you sell it to me? What is it? Alright, let's try Fresnel instead. Input Fresnel. Maybe Fresnel will be better. I have no idea, but I imagine there's going to be a whole lot of new possibilities. Also, new hair system that supports nodes, but I hope they won't disregard physics with that. Nice. It's like, the possibilities are endless. Alright, so let's see. I'm gonna try one more thing. I remember there being a trick, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it off here. Transparent depth. Alright, we're gonna skip this. We're just gonna have to deal with whatever we got right now. Alright, for the tree material, let's see if we can actually use one of these hand painted materials. we go. Alright, I'm just trying to get some sort of texture on this tree. Maybe it should just be black, but I don't think so. Wonder why it's not appearing in a good way. Alright, let's do leaves. We'll call this trunk. Nope, don't like what that looks like. So let's just put a principal shader. Alright. Principal shader. Still looks a little dark. Maybe that's fine. Let's try to see if we can bring up the light then for the sides here. Maybe that's will increase it. Alright, and we can also take something off here. Specular. Alright. We're just making the lights so we can take some of these hot spots away. Or like overblown parts. Alright. Alright. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tree. I'm going to unparent the leaves. So click the leaves, unparent. And I'm just going to convert this into a mesh. So then I can unwrap it. And see if I can actually put some different materials on here. So weird unwrapping. I think that's the issue here. What if I like unwrap cylindrical? Well, gives a little bit more detail. Still weird though, but because it doesn't need to be. Should these be higher up? Should we extrude the edges of this? Let's see. Would that look good? Do the metallic shader, we'll take the roughness. Alright, so let's... What time is it? Alright, 30 minutes. I want to end this soon. Let's change the color management. Let's see if we do some like high contrast. See what that looks like. Looks pretty good. Alright. Let's just copy this material here. Alright, let's also add some details to this little piece here. We'll duplicate it, extrude it. Add in a nice little bevel modifier. We'll just do some model build. I wonder where these bevels are acting weird, huh? Interesting. I'm beveling these, but they're not beveling in the way that I expect them to. It's kind of interesting. They're just kind of like moving in like this? What is this? M? No, it's not M. A. S. P. C. H. Interesting situation here. Are my normals facing the right way? Oh, looks like my normals for the edges are not good. How did that even happen? Interesting. Let's see. Should I recalculate my normals? Let's see. Control N. Oh, no, Alt N. Recalculate outside. Weird stuff. Weird stuff with these normals here. Let me try this again. I'm gonna take this off. Delete the faces. Go to face view. Interesting, the normals are even more screwed. That's why when I bevel, it bevels inwards. It's so weird. Alright, so if I were to make cylinder, hold on, let me go back. Maybe it's because the scale wasn't applied? Maybe that's the issue. Let's look at it again. So, okay, my normals are looking better now. Okay, well, that was so weird. I guess when the scale's not applied, it screws everything up, man. Okay. Now it should be beveling the way that I want it. Now I can use the bevel modifier. And then this will look a little bit like it makes sense. What's curious is just that I'm using the same material on the top of the bottom, and the bottom one looks so different. I guess the lighting really has a lot to do with that. So let's bring this down. And figure out what is happening here. Let's see which lights are actually affecting that top one. So it is the right and the left. Can we control this a little better? Can we rotate it down? Yeah, let's rotate it down. I just hate that super brightness at the top there. There we go. Alright, and then this top light should probably be much bigger. Give this a quick render. Okay. Let's see some things I want to fix here before we move on. The fog pink is what I want to fix. Let's dial in that color. Okay, this cable needs to reach the thing. Not a big deal there. There you go. And I want this to kind of go right there. So it's cutting in between there. Okay, maybe these triangles and circles will give the same detail as the floor. Let's see if what that looks like. Okay. Let's add in like a fake light glow coming up from this thing here. So I'm going to duplicate that, hit F, P, by selection. This is its own thing. Do something like this. We'll go to face mode. We'll erase the faces here. And let's see if we can just copy the material from yesterday's. Let's hope I can. Light rays. Alright. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Let's see if we can isolate this. Figure out what could be happening here. Hopefully we could fix it. Probably has to do with not having correct UV, so let's unwrap. We'll do a cylinder unwrap. Alright, you can kind of see it there. But instead of that, let's do generated and generated. Okay, instead of generated, let's do a separate. XYZ. What if we did Z, Same thing with this. What if we did Z? What if we did Y and X? Let me make sure all transforms are good. Alright, I want it to be in reverse here, so let's invert this. So color invert. This should work the correct way now. There we go. And this is I think if we rotate one of these will work well. Okay, instead of this yellow, maybe it should be a different color. Maybe blue. Nah, it should probably be contrasting. Cool, and then let's get this edge. Alright. Definitely want to I'm looking for how to animate this here. I think it's here. Getting close. A couple final touches. Just need to figure out the animation for this. Maybe I could just use my hologram one. Let me make sure that it just wouldn't be that easy, huh? This one. Try another one. Awesome work, GM. Maybe coming up, you can combine normal lighting and shaders with your toon shader to create a scene. Callie. I'm probably not going to be using my toon shader for a very long time. Just a heads up. Alright, let's see if I can fade this out. The mix shader here. Okay, let's see if I can fade this out here. There we go. And then just reverse this. Really, we should just turn this into a color ramp. B-spline. Add in a math. We'll do a power. There we go. And then we'll make it brighter. Where's my brightness? There we go. Rotate this on the Y180. Oops. Cursor to selected. No. Cursor to selected. Set origin to 3D cursor. We'll grab this. Rotate one on the X180. There we go. Put this at the bottom. Maybe we can make this one a little bigger. Maybe we can add some intrigue here by taking off auto smooth and clear sharp, clear seams, clear it all. Oh, and then we make sure we hit smooth. Yo, I'm back. Nice. We're almost done. There's a couple little tweaks. And we're almost done. Let's see what this looks like. Alright, some things I want to fix. I think it all works pretty well. Is the materials for these triangles. This is so cool. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, let's duplicate the floor here. And let's see if we can tweak some of this here. Alright, my shaders are loading. There it is. Yeah, I'm basically just trying to figure out these shaders. Let me undo all this. And let me add in a mix here for the color for these triangles. I just want them to be darker. So let's do that. Oh. Okay. There we go. Duplicate that. What was I doing? Oh, adding in a mix RGB. Yeah, this shader's a little intense, so it's like kind of takes a bit to load here. All right, adding the color. Multiply. There we go. I just wanted to make those triangles a little darker there. Cool. And then I'm going to unwrap these a little differently. Maybe unwrap them cube, spherical, square. Oh, they're not. Hold on. Let's go to UV. I just don't like this line cutting through it there. Alright, let's do unwrap. It's an unfailed. Failed to unwrap. Wow, okay. Cube, cylindrical. Alright, we'll just keep it simple there. There we go. Alright, let's make them a little darker. Oh, what happened? Are they not being darker? Interesting. I don't know what happened, so we'll hit multiply. We got that. We got the color. It'll be here. Put it dark. Let's try this again. Oh, that's why. Okay, that's why. Okay, I gotta go back. There it is. Bye, catch you on Tuesday. And great streaming like always. Thank you, Evelyn. Have a great day. Have a good one. Cool. I think I'm gonna call it very soon. Let me make sure that these leaves can't look any cooler, and then I'm gonna fix the grid on the floor, and then I'm gonna call it. For the leaves, let's see, would having a different color make it look interesting? Yeah, it does add a little flair to it. Let's render it again. Cool, and then the last thing I will do, save 60 frames a second. We're gonna do 600. Hit home. For this leaves, we'll hit 8. We'll hit a keyframe on there. Go to the dope sheet. I was wondering if someday you'll do a little tutorial about your electricity shader, if you want, of course. Oh yes. Do you, for the electricity, you've already downloaded it and used it, right? Do you just want to know like how it works? Is that what you want to know? Where's the graph editor? I need the graph editor. Yes. All right. Yes, yes. I will do one. It has to do with like some shader stuff cuz I want to understand it. Okay. I barely understand it, but I will give it a shot. Basically, it's in layman's terms, what's happening is it's going between two nodes. Is going between invisibility, so you can't see it, and emissions, right? So that's like the last half of it. So it's going between that and the light, and the way that it's deciding if it should show or not is the normal, right? So like, how close is the face looking to the camera? Like if the face is facing to the camera, do not show. But if it's facing kind of like up and away, then show the emissions, right? So when you have like a displacement map on a texture, and then like the geometries, the normals facing in all different directions, is basically canceling out any geometry that's looking even near the camera, and it's only making the emissions shine when the face of the geometry is looking away from the camera. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like an advanced Fresnel. Yeah, it's kind of like an advanced Fresnel. That's basically what's happening in there. But yeah, I can still do that. Alright, we got some glowy, lighty stuff going on here. We're at 3 hours. We're almost done. We'll add in some general camera movement. And then we'll be on with our day. We'll move forward. It looks fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's finish it off with the camera stuff. We're not going to touch the floor. I'm tired. I'm done. Sometimes you just got to call it. Alright. So I'm going to go to the first frame. Add in keyframes for all these. Let's add in a modifier noise. Now it's super shaky. Whoa! Anyway, super shaky. We'll put the scale up. Maybe it's a little too strong. Maybe it should happen a little bit more often. It's going a little too far. Maybe 1.1. Maybe 1.05. I think that's about it, and then we'll restrict the frame, start and end 600, and we will end 50 and 50. So then it can loop a little better. Alright, and now we can just copy these. Put it on the Y and put it on the Z. See what that looks like. We'll do an offset on some of these. Like, let's just offset it. Same thing with the Y. We'll offset it. Give it a little bit of more random rotation there. Okay. Let's see if it looks good on it. Doesn't look good on rotation. So we'll erase that. How about on the Y? Maybe it's a little too strong. I can't believe how strong it is. Okay, how about on the Z? Make the strength real low. We'll offset it as well. Maybe we can do it on the X. Let's see. X. But we'll just bring the strength way down. Offset it. Maybe not the X. Alright. Camera's in. Let's see if we put the camera and we put the depth of field and we lower it. What if it's like super blurry, right? Maybe that doesn't look good though. Looks too blurry. We don't want to lose the silhouette. Let's see what that looks like. F12. Alright, let's move this guy and rotate him. Like that. Okay. This guy's a little too centered for me, so we're gonna move him a little bit up here. There we go. These are the small details now. Alright, and then let's see if we can change the color to a better color here. Maybe like that red color instead. Alright guys, this will be the final touch. What is the color that the little light things from the top and the bottom, what they should they be? I like them red. Or should they be green? Or should they be blue? Or should they be purple? Or should they be yellow? I do want it to be a standout. Red better. Got it. Red it is. It adds character. Alright, we'll do like a red color. There you go. They could just be super bright. Just kidding. But what we will add is a keyframe onto that. This is what we're going to do. We are going to add something to it. And we'll paste the modifier of the noise. See how bright it gets. It's not getting bright at all. Let's see if we can bring it up here. Oh, there it is. I don't see a difference. What's happening? Is it happening too fast? Should it be super strong? Oh, there it is. It's not as fast as I want it, but we'll keep it. Alright, guys, this is it. Thank you for the thank you for hanging out. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Kelly, thank you for being here. Mo, Ferd, Evelyn, Jiraj, I think that's everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being part of the stream. I hope you guys take care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Hope everything goes well in your guys' life. Alright, goodbye guys.